Right. Welcome to episode 5, episode 6 rather, of ArcMap training. And in this episode, we'll be creating our first topographic map. So I'm going to request you to do something now. You can first just pause this video and then check within the description, the video description, you see a link where you can download the data needed for this aspect of the training. So I hope you can just pause the video and do that before we get started into what we have this episode. Okay, so welcome back, and I'm very sure you've downloaded the video and ensure the file folder you extract the data and add it into the ArcMap training folder that we created in the previous video. So let's get started with creating our first topographic map. And this is just a topographic map with contours, and we're going to add some shapefile, some line features also. So like I said, when we open our ArcMap, the first thing we have to do is always to set up our work environment. And I'm going to do that. We'll click on a layer, right click, and then go to properties. We're going to set our coordinate, and then we're going to set our unit. And so coordinate, I'm just going to select WGS 924. It's in my favorite already. I've done that, and I'll click OK. And then I'm going to go back there and go to properties and change my unit to go to general and change my unit to degree, minutes, and seconds, and use it in Maplex engine because we're using want to work with contours. And click apply, and then okay. So this, we've set our environment. So the next step now is we're going to add our data, and what we need a coordinate that tests the boundary of the area we're trying to cover. And so when you're going to click on file, go to add data, and then go to add XY data. It brings out a add XY data tab, and then click the browse button. We'll browse for the file. Click on the browse. So we're going to go to the ArcMap training folder which we've connected. I'm going to go to the ArcMap training folder which we've connected, and so I'll go my folder connection. You see ArcMap training, so you see topographic data, so it's open, and then I'm going to click on B21 boundaries .xlx. So I'll double click on that. It's going to open and show me sheet $1. So I'll click on sheet $1. I'll click add, and so notice at this bottom side there, it shows coordinate system of input coordinates. So we ensure that yours is selected as WGS84. If it is not selected, you can just click edit and then select WGS84 and click OK. Once you've done that, the ArcMap automatically reads the X and the Y. Remember, your X is your longitude, your Y is your latitude. So it reads it, and then when it does that and it's read out, click OK. So it shows table does not have object ID field. Yes, it does not have. Click OK. So when you click OK, you notice that 4 points shows on your map. So it shows that's your boundary. And when you notice it, if you click, this is 628.00, and then this is a 630.00, and this is a 2 minute by 2 minute map. So when you get in between, you could find the different coordinate. And so this is the very first step. The next step we're going to do is to create polygons around these boundaries to cover these boundaries. So we're going to create polygons. Just go to your catalog, on the ArcMap training folder, right click. When you right click, you go down to new. It brings out another option, and then click on shapefile. Create new shapefile. We're trying to create shapefile. So when you create shapefile, edit this shape file, save it as, change the name to border. Use a P1 border, that's practice 1 border. So P1 border. So when you've done that, change your feature type to polygon. We want to create a feature that is polygon, and your description, what is the spatial reference of this polygon? It's saying unknown coordinate system. You click on edit and then select WGS84 and click OK. So once you've done that, click OK. So notice that P1 border has been added to your layers as part of your layers here. So once it has been added, you're going to right click on P1 border and then click edit feature. So let it load. We want to create our polygon using using the P1 shape file, P1 border shape file we've created. So it's just taking some time to load. We want to edit it. So now it has loaded, and so once it loads, we go to your, you see by your right hand side corner, just below the catalog, the next tab outside there is your create feature. So when you click on that, it brings out it opens the tabs that's there. So you can see P1 border. Click on the P1 border. When you click on it, at the bottom side you see construction tools. You click on polygon. So when you click on polygon, go to your snapping on your tab. When you go to your snapping, just click the down button of the snapping tool and select snap to sketch. So this is done so that once you are drawing your polygon, it always automatically aligns to the exact point you want it to be. So once you've done that, you left click on the first border, so it shows a red tab, and then drag it down to the next one. Just follow the way I'm doing it. When you've done that, that's 2, to the third one down, to the fourth one here, and then back to the top one. So when you get back to the top one, you double click on it. And so once you've done that, you've created your polygon. So you're going to go to editor tab. At your editor tab, just click down and then click save edit. When you click save edit, and then you click stop edit again. So once you've done that, you can turn off your sheet $1 event layer. So you can turn it off. So just turn it off. So when you turn it off, so you don't need those points hidden. So you use those points to get your exact area you want to work on. And so on the P1 border, this green color showing here, you can change the color. So you change it to Olu. Just select Olu, and then change your outline width to 1. Outline color, you can leave it to black, and then select OK. So now this is your area you're trying to work on, the map area you are exactly trying to work on. So that's the first step we've done, and what we just did is just to create a polygon using the shape file to create a polygon to showcase the area we want to work on. So now we need to start adding data to this our map. And so since we're creating a topographic map that shows just contours within that area, we're going to use DEM, and DEMs is known as digital elevation model, and it's collected by satellite imagery by showing the differences in elevation across areas. So it is added, and the data has been added to the file you downloaded. So just go to file. We want to add our DEM. So you have each map, each block of Nigerian has a particular DEM. So for the one we're using the one of Mina, because the boundary data I gave you is for a particular area in Mina. So I've added the DEM data of that area to the folder you downloaded. And so now just click on file. Let's add our DEM. Go to data, And so we're going to add data, not XY data this time, add data. And so when we add data, just go back to your topographic map data inside your ArcMap training. So when you go there, you're going to click on NO9E006. So that's the DM. Double click on it, so it opens another one, and then you click add. So when you click add, so you notice that a gray to dark color showed on your screen. So this is your DEM. And if you check your layer setting here, you can see that the lowest elevation is 59, while the highest is 612. So it's telling us the stress value of color. This is the stress value of the color. The stress value of the color, but it's telling us this is the highest one, and this is the lowest. But then this is now our contour now. So from this DEM, we're going to extract our contour from this DEM. And to extract our contour, we're going to click on our catalog. Sorry, no, not catalog. We're going to go to our search, and then in our search tab, you type in contour. Type in contour and click OK. You type in contour and then click OK. So when it brings out some options out. So you're going to click on contour spatial analyst. Contour spatial analyst. So it brings in another tabs out. So when you bring a tab, it's asking, the first one asks for input raster. In your input raster, you're going to click the DEM file. You click the DEM file. So sometimes it takes time to load because of how heavy the raster can be. So selected now, and so add pitch feature class, you can leave it as contour this thing, but let's change it, or you can just edit it from here. Just use contour NO rather for that. Contour N. So it can save as contour N like that. So now the next one is asking for contour interval. So for your contour interval, since you have between 6112 and 6159 and 6112, so this is our contour interval as 20. And then base contour is like, when you say base contour, like reference contours that shows wing gaps between point 2. This is our base contour as 50, just that at every 50 meter contour interval you have a thick contour that you can use to reference other ones. So, and your Z factor, you can leave it as 1. So contour type, you just leave it as a contour. Maximum vertex per position, leave it empty. And so you click OK. So it's going to load. It's going to process that information it gives it to extract the contours from you. So it takes some time depending on how fast your system is. So let's just give it some time to load. Let's give some time to load. Alright, so our contour has loaded now. So you notice that by your bottom right hand corner here, you see a mark sign. It shows that yes, your information was rightly processed. And so this is the contour for this area. And so you notice that our DEM and the contours are extending outside of our work region. So what we're going to try to do now, we're going to clip all this information into this boundaries we've created, into the boundaries we've created. So you can just turn off your P1 border and see those contours way. You can turn off your DEM2 to see your contours just alone, so you can switch between those layers and see how it works out. So we're going to clip our DEM within these boundaries and clip our P1 boundary. So let's first clip our DEM. So to clip our DEM, go to geo processing and look at, you see clip. So in geoprocessor you see clip. So your input feature is your your contour n. Just first clip. Okay, right. So for us to clip, because our DEM is not a raster file, so we're not going to use this clip process for this. We're going to use another process, another clip process. So let's just go to your search again and type clip. So when you see clip, it brings out another option. So you're going to see clip data management. So clip data management. Just click on it. So it asks you to input your raster, and then you select your raster, and then the RP feature extent. So you want the DM not to go outside of the P1 border boundaries. So you're going to select P1 border boundaries as your output extent. I don't want it to go beyond that. So when you do that, just click OK. So the process is going to load. Notice that it's loading down here. It's loading down there. It definitely won't take so much of a time like the very first place. So notice that your DM has been clipped in. So you can turn off the main one. You can turn off the main clip. So notice that there's a difference, and then you can turn off this. You notice that I was within that clip region. Look at the effects now. So your DM is within your P1 body, but we don't need the DM again. You can just off it. So what we need is our contours, because that's what we're working on. So on our, and we're going to clip our contours. Our contour is a raster file, so we can process it using this geoprocessing clip. So when you go there, you're going to input your contour value. So the clip feature is going to be your P1 border. Your input value will always be what you want to clip, and your clip features will be the extent you want the clip to be. So you click OK on that, and it's going to load. So it will process out. And so notice that there's a change. It shows you that your new clip. So notice that on your layer tab you have contour n clip, contour on underscore n. That's the original contour you created. So you can turn that off. So we're only left with our clip value, and we're working within this region. So but now in geology terms, we represent contour with a particular color. So we need to adjust all of this, and to make our workflow very easily, you can remove all this one that are not needed again. Remove this one you've done, then you remove this contour n. So now we're left with just the one we need, and so we need to adjust our color, our contour color rightly. And so when we've done that, just right click on the line, just right click on it. It brings out an option, and so we're going to change our contours to the right color. Don't let us go through this option. Let's just go back, right click on contour and clip, because we have created for base map, and then for base contour, and then for normal contour. Let's go to our properties, in which I have my layer properties, and click on symbology. It brings out an options. When you click on symbology, you have feature, you have categories, you have quantities, you have charts, you have multiple attributes. So click on quantities. Click on categories rather. So when it brings categories out, you will, on the value, inside the value feed, change it to the ID to contour, and then when you change to contour, uncheck symbol. When you uncheck symbol, and then click add all values. So you notice it brings out all the contour values you have. So in this step, what we're trying to do is we're trying to group our base contour and group our contours that are not base. So notice that, remember when we were creating our contour, we used a contour interval of 20. That means we're going to have contour interval every 20 meter. So now notice that this is 270, 290, 310, 20 meter interval, and so our first base contour, which we placed at 50, will be 350, and then that's only 350 that is there. So what we're going to do is we're going to group all the other contours which are not base, contours. Just select your control key on your keyboard and then select 270, 290, 310, 330, 370, 390 and 410. Those are your contours that are not base contours. So you right click on them and then you see select group values. So those you've grouped as contours that are not base. This is your base contour. So for your base contour, right click on the line, double click on the line value that is there to bring out that same options we wanted to do at that time. And then you go down, you will notice that we've got, you see when you scroll down this tab, you see contour topographic, contour index, contour topographic supplementary. So here we're going to only select, contour index for the base. So when you select contour index, click OK. That's for the base contour. But for the ones that are not base contour, double click on it on the line, on the symbol tab, and then scroll down again. You scroll down and then we're going to select contour intermediate. You see contour intermediate. So select contour intermediate and then change it to 1 and then click OK. So this is how you set it. So you're going to click apply. Notice the change on your screen. You notice that there's only one contour base that is 350 meters in height, and that's the one it thickens out. So there's another one here, and and when you check your map through, you see. So once you've done that, click OK. We are not done yet. We've just created our contour, so we need to label this contour that we've just created. So you're going to right click on contour on this end clip, go to properties. We want to label our contours. You're going to go to labels on your layer property tab, click on labels, and then first check label features in this layer, and then on your label feed, click on select contour. When you select contour, you can click apply. Notice that the values of those contours are shown on your contour. So now we need to work with some placement properties. We need to place these contours very well, because notice that some of those contours are not really showing well. So go to click on other options, placement properties, and then you go to general. So under the general tab, just down click and then click contour placement. So contour placement, when you click contour placement, click OK, and then come back and click apply. So notice that it places the labelings of the contours along the contour line, and then you can see how beautiful that is. And so that's the way you label your contours when you've created it, and then you can click OK. So we're getting towards the end of creating our first topographic map. So this is what we just need, especially for those who want to go on the field and then begin to identify rocks within this region. At each point, you could know your differences in elevation, and then your rocks you can just target, and then you target your identify your rocks you found on the field there. And so the next thing we're going to do is to prepare our map for export. So to prepare our map for export, you're going to change from data view to layout view. So from data view to layout view, so just at the right bottom left hand side where you can see the mouse, you see data view, and then just beside you see layout view. So click on layout view, and so when you click on layout view, notice that your map is small. What I'm going to do is you go to right click on contour end clip and then select zoom to layer. So when you select zoom to layer, it brings it with those features, so you can adjust. So when you adjust, you can adjust your boundaries to fit. You can adjust the boundaries to fit. Just allow it to fit in well. Just the boundary to fit in well. So now at this it's okay like this. So we need to add we need to start adding uh legend title, the elements we spoke about in previous videos on this. So the very first thing I want to do is let's add a scale. Add a scale to the map. So go to insert. Look at, notice that there's scale bar and then there's scale text. So we use scale text when we know the specific sheet we're going to print our map on, but we use scale bar when we want to use different sheets. I can just decide to print on A3, I can decide to print on A4, A2. So it's advisable to always use scale bar because you can't really tell the exact sheet the map is going to be printed on. So I'll use the scale bar. So with this we're going to create a new scale bar so that we can know how this has been created. So I'll click on scale bar 1 in my home. When I click on scale bar 1, I'll click on properties, and then I want to set this scale bar to fit in what I want to be using always. So I'm going to use for frequency, let's go to scale and unit first. For scale and unit, put your scale. You can always change this anytime depending on how large the area is. So I'm going to choose meter here. Label position, after labels, leave it like that, and yes, adjust this one. When resizing, adjust division and division values, select that. So numbers and mark. So for this, click apply and click OK. So once you do that, you can save this preset, save it as so that anytime you come back here, you can just give it my scale, so that you can just easily use it and change it anytime you need them. So you can click OK. I've saved this. So you notice that my scale has showed. So when I click on my scale, I click OK, so it imports on my map. So you notice that my map scale is in meters, 1375 meters. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-edit this so that we can make our scale very more interesting to look at. So just change it to kilometers. Let's change to kilometers, and our numbers of mark, change it to divisions, our frequency, divisions, and 4 subdivision. Click apply. Notice the change. So you have 1.2 kilometers, 0.2 kilometers. So it's advisable to even leave it in meters since it's fine in meters. So yes, so this could like this. So we just created our scale bar. So the next thing is to insert our not arrow. So go back to your insert and you're going to see not arrow. So just select one that you know that you love, and then it's insert, and then place it on your map. So you place it on your map like that. So we've done our not arrow. So go to our title, our legend. Legend shows the legend wizard. So all of this here, this is your map layers, and this is your legend item. So in this legend, we only need to tell the contours. So I'll send that back. I'll send everything back first. So I only need the contours because the contours are the main information on that map. I click next. Click next, and finish. So it brings out my legend. Notice it's showing me contour clip, and so I right click on this. I select convert properties. I want to edit it. then I click on group. So I click on this contour and click, and I delete it because I don't need it. And then on this on my legend, I need to tell which type of contour is this. But this one that we have 270, 290, 310, 330, 370, 390, 410, that's our contour intermediate. So I will ungroup it also, and then I'll edit it to the name I need it to. So I'll double click on it, so it brings out the option out, and I edit it to contour intermediate. And then I click apply. So notice that there's a change. So I can just, for easy, I'll just copy this, I'll click OK here, and then come to my next and ungroup this also, and then edit this. I'll paste, but I already copied that, and I'll change it to contour index. I click apply. This is there's a change there, so you can delete this. You don't need this again. So this is your legend here. Just let's ensure we arrange our information way on our map so that it can be easily represented. So the next thing we're going to do now is to add our title. That's the last important thing, to add our title. So the title of the map is Topographic map. Topographic map showing, just use showing contour just use that. So click OK, so you can see it's displayed on top. So you can edit this, just double click on it, and then to edit it, just bold it, because we need to click change symbol, and then click bold, then click apply. So you notice it is like this. And so these are first topographic map for creating. So in our legend, to make it more beautiful, we can select this whole legend the way I did. Just select it. Let's add some neat line. Go back and click to your insert, go to neat line, so to bring out the tab. So look at placement. Where do you want to place the neat line? Place around selected element. Do you want to place around all your element on the map, or place inside mine? So I want to place around this selected element, so it's that selected. I click OK. So notice I have a neat line in my legend such that I can draw my reader's attention to my map. And that's the very first thing we're going to do. And so the last thing now we're going to do is you're going to add a dynamic text. You're going to add your name and the author name and the dates. You're going to add author name, date and time. So add your name, add the author name. So just go back to you see the author stuff is there. I want you to add so that you can easily identify your map for submission. Just click here, right click on it, just right click on it first, and then convert to graphics, and then double click on it, and then add your name to it. So I'm going to add my name, Jeremiah Oladipo. Oh, sorry, was not typing. Jeremiah Oladipo. So once I do that, I click apply. So notice my name has been shown on my map. So my name has shown. You're going to add your date, the date it was created. Let's add current. So notice it shows here. So you're going to do this to every map you're going to create. Notice that your date 13 April 2023 it was created, and then I'm going to add the time it was created to. So it tells me that the time was 10:12, although my system is programmed 1 hour ahead. So add this, and so you're going to use this every time format every time you're creating a map. So you can build all of this feature. You can build all this feature and then change the font color to gray, 60% gray, just so that it could fade in the background. And so we've not done, there's one thing we've not done since the beginning of our map. We've not saved. So we need to save our work. So go to your file and then save. Go to file. So we're going to save it within our ArcMap training folder. You save not inside a topographic map. You save it within our ArcMap training folder. So I'll go back to my desktop. So ArcMap training, and then on the topographic, inside the topographic data, save it. You're going to save it as your base map. You're going to save it as topo map practice. Topo map practice. So and then click OK. So it's going to save as an ArcMap. So notice that the change is a change in the name of the file, topo map practice. So ensure that every time you're working, you're saving your work. So the last thing now is to export our map. So to export our map, go to File and then click on Export. Click on Export, and then I'm going to export it into my ArcMap training folder. So I want to save it here. So topo map practice.jpg, yes, and click OK. So I'm going to export my file. So my file has been exported. So let's check what we exported. And I'm going to go to the desktop, go to ArcMap training. So notice that my file is there. So look at my topo map practice file. So let it load. And so these are our first topographic map we've created. We are showing contours with address, and this is my name, and see how beautiful it is. So I'm very sure if you followed duly along, you're going to create something as beautiful as this also. And an exercise is attached to this apart from this practice, so that you can build up your skill as you go along. Our goal is for you to skill up, and that's the essence why we created this course for you. And so this is how our topographic first map is in this episode, and I'm very sure you enjoyed it all through. So see you in our next episode, where we'll be creating topographic map with contours using Excel spreadsheet, and I hope it's going to be a wonderful one for you to come around. So see you next time. Thank you very much. I still remain Jeremiah Oladipupo.